Hello guys, cuckoo. Welcome back to It's Revival Time with Emmanuelle Yakana. This morning, I want to encourage us on the heart attitude as we come before God. What kind of heart attitude should we have? I want us to look at two stories where these two persons have done something unexpected to get what they expected from Jesus. So let's get into it. The first story is found in Mark 5. It's from verse 25 to verse 34. So just to give us context, Jesus is on his way to heal the daughter of Jairus. He's rushing there, and there's this lady on the way. She's been bleeding for 12 years, and she comes to Jesus and does something. So let's read together. Verse 25. And a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had. Yet instead of getting better, she grew worse. When she heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak, because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Immediately, her bleeding stopped, and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. At once, Jesus realized that power had gone out from him. He turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched me?" "You see the people crowding against you," his disciples answered, "and yet you can ask, 'Who touched me?'" But Jesus kept looking around to see who had done it. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell at his feet and, trembling with fear, told him the whole truth. He said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." Whoa. Let's go to the second story. It's found in Mark 7, verse 25 to verse 34. Let's read together. And just for context, again, Jesus has just finished teaching people on what defiles a person, what does not defile a person. So he's heading to that house, and clearly the Bible says he does not want anyone to know he's in the house. But he cannot go unnoticed, right? And so there's a lady in that house that also does something. So let's read together Mark 7 from verse 25. In fact, as soon as she heard, that's because Jesus just had come in the house. So he did not want anyone to know he's in the house, right? In verse 24. And so in verse 25, the Bible says, as soon as she heard about him, a woman whose little daughter was possessed by an impure spirit came and fell at his feet. The woman was Greek, born in Syrian, Phoenicia. She begged Jesus to drive the demon out of her daughter. "First, let the children eat all they want," he told her, "for it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs." "Lord," she replied, "even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs." Then he told her, "For such a reply you may go. The demon has left your daughter." She went home and found her child lying on the bed and the demon gone. Whoa. This was Mark 7 from verse 25 to 30. And so there is something very interesting about that really reveals the heart attitude of these two ladies. These two ladies came with expectation. These two ladies came with hope. They came with certainty. They came with faith. The Bible says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So these two ladies know their situation, but above that, they know how capable Jesus is to meet the need that they have. So I don't know about you, but I find myself thinking that sometimes when we come before God, we come with a hard attitude that's already displeasing to him, because the Bible says without faith, it is not possible to please God. So I want to encourage us today to look at what kind of heart attitude do I come before God with? Do I come hopeful? Do I come knowing that this is my Father? He knows my need and he's going to meet them, because the Bible says before we even ask, he knows what we need. And so those two ladies, I said earlier, they did something unexpected, because in the first story, the Bible does not mention that she just had gone through a Bible story. The Bible does not mention that she was just at church. No, she heard about Jesus and she came. And just the thought that if I can just touch his garment, I will be healed. I think that's amazing, because it shows how hopeful she was, that just a part of Jesus could heal the sickness inside of her. And that's exactly what happens. And Jesus says, your faith has healed you. Then the other story, the lady tells Jesus, even the children get the They get the crumbs from the children. The dogs get the crumbs from the children. And so Jesus is just, I want to say, their faith moves Jesus. And it's exactly what the Bible says. It says, come boldly before the throne of grace that you may obtain mercy and find grace for your times of need. So I don't know what situation you are in today, but I want to encourage you as you come before God, you come before your Father. And as you come, know that He knows your needs. Know that He loves you and He wants to meet your needs. Come with hope. Come with faith. Come knowing that at the throne of grace of the Father, your needs will be met. So I pray that your faith be encouraged. I pray that your walk with God be strengthened. And I pray that as you ponder on those two stories, God bless you. Welcome back again to It's Revival Time with Emmanuelle Yakana. Thank you.